Hey, welcome back, Rankers. How are you going? Many of you will know that I love Google Trends and I've used it to predict certain political outcomes which no one else predicted. And I've been working on a tool to help me do that programmatically, essentially. And it uses AI, of course. And I've been using a few different processes to build this tool. But this podcast is a result of getting that data together. And I've given it to another tool to generate this podcast. And I'd love to know what you think. But for me, it was a great way to absorb data. I didn't watch this particular debate, as many of you will know who've been watching the show for a long time. I hate politics. But what I found was that it gave me some insights that I didn't want to know, but I now know. And it was a really interesting listen for me. I hope you find it that way as well. I'd be really interested in your feedback. Look, it's probably not going to get much reach because it does talk about politics and Google may flag it. So anything you can do to share, like, and obviously subscribe if you're not a subscriber, please do that. Because I'd be really interested in the feedback. I may change the voices for the next podcast, but essentially this is a tool that we're using to measure brand penetration, like one brand against another brand. We use it to check on what sort of penetration advertising is getting in search. And previous to that, it's all been manual, and I've had to do a manual analysis and report. Now I don't have to, and I've taken that one step further and created this podcast. Love to know what you think. Please let me know. Thanks very much. Bye.
All right, so you've given us quite the task here, analyzing Google Trends from the Harris-Trump debate alongside the full transcript.
Yeah,
So
fascinating stuff.
it really is. It's like we get to see what moments really grabbed America's attention while it was happening live.
Yeah, it's like we're back there in the room with them, feeling the energy.
Exactly. It's not just about who had the best singers. It's about what made people stop and think, wait, what? And go straight to Google.
Exactly.
Now, this analysis focuses on a 4-hour window during that live debate on September 10th.
Right.
But before we go any further, just a quick reminder for our listeners, how do we actually read this Google Trends data?
Right. Good point.
What are we looking at here?
It's not about, like, overall popularity. It's all about the spikes. Those moments where interest suddenly shoots up. It's like, imagine you're in a quiet library.
Right.
And suddenly everyone rushes to the same bookshelf that's your Google Trends spike.
I like that.
Something in that moment sparked a huge wave of curiosity.
Love the analogy. So picture this. The debate is on, tensions are high, and one name just keeps popping up in the search bar again and again.
Trump.
Trump.
Consistently higher baseline search interest.
Okay, but before we all jump to conclusions, does that automatically mean he's got more support?
That's the thing. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Could just be name recognition, right? He's been in the public eye for, well, a while.
Right, everyone knows his name.
Exactly. Or it could be that he remains a more, shall we say, polarizing figure.
Maybe folks are checking if he's brought back those NFT trading cards.
Could be. But it does highlight something important. A very, let's say, vocal online base.
What do you mean by vocal?
Meaning Trump supporters might be more active online, more likely to be searching his name multiple times during the debate just to see what's being said.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about how much CH someone's being Googled, but what people are actually searching for when they do.
You got it. And that's where Kamala Harris's data gets really interesting.
Okay.
Lower baseline overall, but then these moments where her search interest just explodes, even surpassing Trump's at times.
We're talking dramatic spikes, like someone hit the turbo button on her search trends.
Exact.
There's one peak that really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
10.16 p.m. She hits a 100 on the Google Trends scale. And for those listening, that's not just any number. That's a perfect score, like going viral, but for search engines.
Huge.
So what on earth happened at 10.16 that had everyone scrambling to their phones?
All right, so if we sync up our Google Trends timeline with the debate transcript,
Yeah.
10.16 p.m. is right when Harris directly challenged Trump on a potential national abortion ban if he were reelected.
Oh, wow.
She even brings up this Project 2025 thing, a plan circulating in some conservative circles.
And we've got to remember, at this point in the debate, things were getting heated.
Oh, absolutely.
Accusations flying,
Yeah.
the audience on the edge of their seats.
It was tense.
And right in that pressure cooker moment, Harris connects Trump to this very specific policy plan on this incredibly sensitive issue.
And bam, people need to know more.
Right. Was it a calculated move? Did it genuinely resonate with viewers? We can't say for sure, but
But you can bet her campaign team was glued to those Google Trends charts.
absolutely. And this pattern, these Harris search spikes lining up with these pointed debate moments, it happened more than once, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely not an isolated incident.
So it's like, to really understand how this debate played out, you need both
Yeah.
the transcript and the Google Trends data.
100%. You're adding this whole other layer of audience reaction.
Wow.
It's like you can almost hear the gasps and murmurs as things unfold.
Okay, so we've got Trump consistently holding attention, but Harris delivering these targeted bursts of intrigue.
It's fascinating, right?
It is. What else is revealed when we break this down by, like, where in America people were watching?
All right, so this is where the regional data gets really interesting. Both candidates generated crazy high search interest in the northeastern states.
So is it just that everyone in the Northeast is glued to their TVs during political debates? What's going on there?
Well, they do tend to have high voter turnout,
Right.
but it also reflects the demographics up there, right? Large concentration of educated urban voters.
Right, traditionally a very Democratic stronghold. So Harris is probably preaching to the choir a bit there.
You could say that.
But what about Trump?
That's where it gets interesting. While they both sparked huge interest in the Northeast, Trump's search volume was much more evenly spread out across the country.
Okay, so bigger base overall, or just a familiarity thing? Like, has everyone just Googled him to death at this point?
It's a good question. Could be broader appeal, or it could be that people feel like they've already got him figured out, you know?
All right, like they know the deal.
Exactly. Less need for those information gathering searches. Whereas with Harris, you might get more, okay, who is this person again? Searches, since she's newer on the national scene.
Fascinating. Okay, so we're building a picture here of the who and the where of this Google Trends data.
Right.
But let's talk about the what were people actually typing in?
Right. This is where we get to the real nitty-gritty, those little bursts of curiosity during the debate.
Okay, hit me with it.
All right, so for Harris, it's pretty straightforward. Harris, Kamala, Kamala Harris, Trump-Harris debate. The kind of searches you'd expect when people need the basics.
Yeah, filling in the blanks, getting a feel for her background.
Exactly. Suggests that maybe she hasn't quite reached that household name status like Trump, at least. Not yet.
Interesting. Okay, so what about the searches tied to Trump?
With Trump, you see a much wider range of topics, such as we've got your expected Trump 2024, sure.
Right.
But also things like Trump polls and Trump news people wanting to know how he's doing, what's he up to right now.
So they know who he is, but they want the inside scoop, the latest updates.
And it goes even deeper than that. There were a lot of searches related to specific policies, digging into his past actions, stuff he said during the debate.
So real-time fact-checking from the audience at home.
Basically.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just wanted more context, more details on his plans, especially given, his history of bold statements.
It's like they're using the search bar to say, all right, Trump, we know the act, but what are the specifics? What did you actually DO?
Exactly. And this leads us to maybe the most revealing data point of all the rising searches.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Hit me with it.
These are the terms that suddenly, in a very short window, just explode in popularity.
Wow.
Like a spotlight on what really caught everyone's attention, what sent them down a Google rabbit hole right then and there.
Lay it on me. What were the rising searches that got everyone buzzing?
For Harris, a few fascinating ones. We saw a spike in searches about her foreign policy experience, particularly dealing with other world leaders.
Okay.
Things like, has Kamala met Putin? Saw a big jump.
Interesting. Did she mention Putin during the debate?
She did. It came up when she was criticizing Trump's foreign policy record. And boom, people are online. They want to know what's her stance on Russia, what's her experience on the world stage.
Trying to compare and contrast. Fill in the gaps in their knowledge.
Precisely. Also saw a rise in searches about her stance on gun ownership, specifically Kamala Harris, gun owner.
Again, probably something specific she said that sparked that curiosity, that desire to dig deeper.
Exactly. Seems like her statements on these concrete issues, they really got people doing their own research, forming their own opinions.
Like a real-time homework assignment during the debate.
Right. Okay, this one's a bit out of left field searches for Taylor Swift, Kamala Harris. Saw a sudden spike.
Hold on, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
As in the pop star.
The one and only. Now, It's hard to say for sure what caused it.
Right.
Maybe Harris name-dropped her, used her as a cultural reference, or maybe there was speculation about an endorsement.
Oh, I can see it now. Taylor Swift rocking a Harris campaign tee on tour. Okay, so we've got background checks, policy positions, maybe a pop star connection. What about Trump? What were people Googling on his side?
With Trump, the rising searches were, well, let's just say, a bit more all over the place.
Oh, how so?
It's like you've got policy questions, historical deep dives, even stuff about past controversies all mixed in.
So business as usual in the world of Trump-related internet searches.
Pretty much. Like there was a spike in searches for, did Trump invite the Taliban to Camp David?
Wow, that one goes straight to the heart of some of the biggest debates about his presidency.
Right. Accurate or not, the fact that people were asking this, it suggests there's still uncertainty, people wanting to get the facts straight on his past actions.
Trying to square the image with reality, even years later.
Exactly. Also saw a spike in, did Trump sell chips to China? Probably tied to that whole section on trade and tariffs.
So again, real-time fact-checking, trying to cut through the noise and understand his actual policies.
Exactly. And then, of course, there were the searches tied to some of his more controversial moments, like Central Park 5 Trump.
Right, that case from years ago. So even stuff from early in his career, it's still on people's minds.
Seems like it highlights how much his past continues to be this source of, well, intense interest, even now.
It's fascinating, isn't it? You've got these getting to know you searches for Harris.
Yeah.
And this whirlwind of everything but the kitchen sink searches for Trump.
It's like two totally different campaigns reflected right there in those search patterns.
Exactly. So you've got all this data, all these clues about what people were thinking and feeling during the debate. But the big question is, can we actually tell what they were feeling? Like, were they excited, angry, confused?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's important to remember, Google Trends doesn't directly measure sentiment like positive or negative feelings, but you can look for clues, right?
Exactly.
Like what were people actually searching for? That can tell you something.
Right. It's not just about how many clicks, but the intention behind them.
Exactly. And what we see with Harris is there's a lot of those searches that suggest a kind of openness.
Openness. Okay.
Like those spikes when she challenged Trump directly.
Yeah.
People wanted to know more about her side of things, her experience.
So they're not just writing her off. They're listening, maybe for the first time.
And that's huge. Especially in a race this tight, every little bit of engagement matters.
Makes you wonder, are the campaigns themselves watching these Google Trends in real time, like adjusting their strategies on the fly?
Oh, 100%. They'd be foolish not to.
Right. It's like having a direct line to what voters are thinking and feeling minute by minute.
That's the power of this kind of data, right? You can see what sticks, what makes people reach for their phones.
It really highlights how much the game has changed, even from just a few years ago. We always talk about social media, but this feels different, you know?
How so?
Like, social media is all about what people choose to share, but this is tapping into something more raw, those split-second moments of genuine curiosity.
And it's not just for campaigns either.
Right.
Anyone who wants to understand, like, what makes the public tick Google Trends is a goldmine.
So whether you're a political junkie or just trying to keep up with the headlines, it's a fascinating tool.
For sure. It's a window into the collective mind of the country.
Well said. Well, listeners, there you have it. We went deep into the Harris-Trump debate, not through the lens of pundits or spin doctors, but through your own searches, your questions, your desire to make sense of it all.
It's been a fascinating ride.
It really has. And for those who want to explore this data themselves, we've got links to all the sources we used in our show notes.
Go check it out. You never know what you might find.
And until next time, keep those search engines running and those critical thinking caps on.